Wow, you are a dental insurance expert. That must be so interesting. So I'm
Yes.
like, I gotta get you on and see what's going on.
Oh my gosh, I think so. I think it's all of a sudden becoming a topic of conversation. I feel like it wasn't anything interesting or talked about for a long time. And now in the last year, it's been everyone's asking all the questions. When the
I know.
office is trained up properly, so when you have optimum fee schedules, optimum reimbursement through your billing specialist, and then you have a team that knows how to speak to patients properly and educate them that, hey, we're not going to let insurance dictate your treatment. The doctor is the expert. He is telling you medically this is necessary. Just as if you go to the, cardiologist, you're not questioning, oh, do I need to take that medication? It's like, this is for your heart. You need to take this medication. It's the same, this is your tooth. If you don't properly fix it and address the problem now, you're going to lose your tooth. Like that's the
A
reality.
lie. I mean, dentistry is expensive. It's not cheap for average people. If they don't have insurance, it makes it difficult. Financing certain thing makes it difficult. So I absolutely think that, it can get better, but we'll just see how the time will tell. My goal is to really educate the younger doctors, even the dentists that are out. Some of them don't know the insurance and stuff. They rely on their office managers. They rely on other people. So I think to educate and to empower, that's really what I care about because I think that's where we're able to see the shift in the industry. And I always say this, I believe that dental support organization, the DSOs, they're amazing for the industry. But I think the dentist at the end of the day has to benefit from
Hours.
that.
I
You
now
can't
work with dentists that work Sunday to Sunday, 7 to 7. They're open 7 days a week. And it's because the game, in my opinion, from what I see, the insurance game is rigged against them. So if we can get them out from working under and for the PPOs, and at least in what I do, and we can get the PPOs working for them, they're working less hours, they're making more money. I mean, the work-life balance, it's important.
Okay, everyone, welcome back to Dentment Podcast. We had so much craziness before this recording. Miss poor Angela has been waiting on me. Damn Riverside. It's all Riverside's fault. Well, I got Miss Angela Holland. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Oh man, beautiful. I'm always nervous about people's name. I'm like, did I butcher it?
No, not at all. It was perfect.
I love it. Your, as a practicing dentist, your topic of specialty was so fascinating to me because I'm like, wow, you are a dental insurance expert. That must be so interesting. So I'm
Yes.
like, I gotta get you on and see what's going on.
Oh my gosh, I think so. I think it's all of a sudden becoming a topic of conversation. I feel like it wasn't anything interesting or talked about for a long time. And now in the last year, it's been everyone's asking all the questions.
I know it's one of those things that I certainly do not understand, nor I ever want to understand.
So you just need the basics
I
and
know.
be
Every
okay.
time I walk into the operating room, people are like, "Does your insurance cover this?" I'm like, "I have no idea." I'm like, "You're asking the wrong person."
Yeah.
Well, Miss Angela, I thank you so much for hopping on. I just want to kind of let you introduce yourself to everybody. I'm sure you are super famous, but I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
You're really feeding into my ego. I am not famous at all. In 2018, I started a dental RCM company. We built it really quickly and really successfully. And in 2023, I sold my company to a NASDAQ corporation. I plan to stay working for them for many years to come and to grow the RCM division. However, it didn't pan out that way. So I did some deep diving and some deep digging to see what it is that I love to do, how I love to serve the dental industry. And it comes back to my expertise in insurance and helping dentists make more money when it comes to insurance. I feel like it is the dental insurance game, as so many people say. And I feel like you guys are not taught the instructions. You're not told how to win with it. So I really love to help you all win.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually, I'm glad that we're having this conversation because I've been seeing a lot of dentists in the recent time. I was having a conversation with one of the doctors that is a friend of mine, Dr. Mohammed. He has some practice out and he has about 12 practices out in Connecticut. We were having a conversation and he was saying that the dental insurances seems to be just left and right, just denying everything. He does the procedure, they don't get paid out, and all these different things. Do you really truly think that dental insurances are a true insurance, or do you think they're more of a discount card?
I think that it's more of a discount. Yes, industry is complaining of claims getting denied more frequently and insurance being more difficult to work with to get the reimbursement that you're properly owed, no matter how clean the claim. With my expertise in RCM and the billing side, I'm able to incorporate that into strategic credentialing and the insurance negotiations and network optimization. So we are taking into account not only what makes the most sense for the practice, but what plans actually serve the practice. So sometimes there's plans that are notorious for denying everything up front. And AI is such a hot topic, but in claims, it's been around forever. So the claims are submitted and they're either denied or they're paid by AI usually. If it has to go to a second level, then it goes to a person who would either approve it or deny it. And
Wow.
yeah, so it's, the AI is set up, yes, it's going to deny if it has any reason that it can deny you.
Wow. So, what are some of why do you think it's so challenging? For example, like for myself, I submit a claim to the insurance or I do a crown on a patient that I feel like this patient needs a crown based on my educational judgment. Then it goes to the insurance and the insurance denies it, right? So it almost makes you feel like, well, then what did I go to dental school for if I'm doing this based on my clinical expertise and my education? And then you guys are denying it, that becomes a little bit of a challenge. And why do you think that's the case? Is that because the insurance doesn't trust the doctor, or do you think that the insurance wants to do their own due diligence? What is the reason behind that?
I think that's a really good question and a fair question. I think it's a combination of the both. I think insurance is a business, so they want to pay out as little money. They want optimum revenue for the business of the insurance company. But when it comes to a claim, they want to give every reason to not have to reimburse you the maximum amount. So what you'll see when there's not the proper keywords inside claims for like crowns or like a claim for a crown must show that there's less than 50% tooth structure remaining for proper crown retention.
Mhm.
So if those specific numbers or verbiage isn't included, then it's going to automatically deny before it even goes to a doctor who's denying it. I think that the goal is to ultimately, as a business, the insurance doesn't want to pay out as much money. However, when you have a good billing specialist and you're properly credentialed with optimum reimbursement, you can make the PPOs work for you. It's kind of scandalous, but I'm all about getting the doctor to not have to work for the PPOs. And it's taboo to talk about because for the last 10 years, most practices work for the PPOs. And that's something that's kind of like a hard pill to swallow, but we can change that.
So why do you think is that the doctors, is it just because the doctors are afraid of losing patients, or is it just because they just think that, oh man, this is the only way that I'm gonna be able to essentially function as a business? Like, what do you think that's the case for?
I think there's so many reasons. Part of it is a lack of education, which as a dentist, you all are extremely talented and extremely brilliant. And you go to school for more years than I went to
I was
school.
like, wow, really?
You guys are great. However, you were never given an education in insurance. The insurance constantly changes. It's a constantly evolving industry. So when their goal is to not pay you, of course, they're going to work against you to not pay you. But then I think that when the office is trained up properly, so when you have optimum fee schedules, optimum reimbursement through your billing specialist, and then you have a team that knows how to speak to patients properly and educate them that, hey, we're not going to let insurance dictate your treatment. The doctor is the expert. He is telling you medically this is necessary. Just as if you go to the, cardiologist, you're not questioning, oh, do I need to take that medication? It's like, this is for your heart. You need to take this medication. It's the same, this is your tooth. If you don't properly fix it and address the problem now, you're going to lose your tooth. Like that's the reality.
So as someone, so the dental insurance is your expertise. So my question is, how are you kind of helping the practices or even the dental support organizations kind of step up their game in that area? How are you kind of coming in and kind of utilizing, or how are you helping the practices kind of get efficient in that area?
Absolutely. So we do it in two ways. The first way is we do strategic credentialing. So we do a demographic research and we take a doctor who's either new to the practice, new to the industry or practice ownership, or they're acquiring or starting up a practice. So instead of credentialing them with every PPO insurance out there, we are credentialing them with a handful of really strategized PPOs that are going to work for them. So not only do we credential them, first, we actually negotiate higher fee schedules. So from day one, the doctors that credential with us are set up for success more so than somebody who does their own or who has someone in office do it, just based on analytics. Then we also work with doctors that are later in their practice ownership. So as long as you've been 2 years in practice ownership or thereafter, we can do what's called insurance fee negotiations. And the most important part is the network optimization. So the old way used to be, hey, we're going to negotiate higher fees. You come in, you strong arm them, you get a bit of a raise, and the doctor leaves happy and the team member leaves happy, and insurance says, yeah, okay, they won. Well, behind closed doors, the insurance was laughing because it ends up being like a 2 to 3 to 7% increase. Wow. But what we do is we analyze the insurance KPIs, top codes, how the practice is operating, what the local employers in your practice area, who they're contracted with for their employees. We look at all the data to then say, you have a direct contract with Aetna. The best thing you can do is put it under an umbrella. This is how much we're going to increase your revenue. Aetna is known, like currently right now, Aetna's negotiating anywhere from like a 0.2% increase to maybe 3, 5, 6% increase, right? If we drop Aetna and we put it under another TPA, which there are some stipulations, so this is just an overview, we can increase Aetna revenue by 40%, 48%, just depending on the practice, the last time they negotiated, and what plan we switch them over to. Wow. That's kind of like a brief overview, but there's so many layers. So it's like we're peeling back all of the data and we come in with logical and industry standard and recommended data so that we can strong arm the insurance with real data and get real results. And on average, we just got our new annual numbers in. We are increasing practice revenue on average by over 28%. So we are killing it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So whatever you made last year from insurance, add 28% to that. No additional treatment, no more patients in the chair.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm sure your fee is probably 25%. So they only make it like that.
I'm smart. I'll tell them that you told me to charge that. No, we charge a flat fee. So you know what you're getting into. We have a money back guarantee. We do it the right way.
Yeah, I love having this conversation. They're like, yeah, you get so much money, but my fee is about 27% get worse. No. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, the dental insurances, I think recently Dr. Avi mentioned the same thing on his LinkedIn, and we were having a conversation too. I think dental insurances in general, I think they don't do the consumer justice with the services that they offer to the consumers. And I believe that they can do so much better for the patients, because honestly, when I walk into the operatory room and they give patients like $1,500 a year. I'm like, that's nothing. Like, that doesn't even cover 6 fillings. It doesn't even cover a crown. It doesn't cover anything. So why do you think that in the United States at the current time, why do you think that the dental insurances are essentially non-existent to me as a practitioner? Why do you think that's the case?
I think it's just kind of the way our world has always ran. I think that people go to a blue collar job, they get their dental insurance paid by their company. It's a discount. When the employer pays a portion of it, it certainly helps the family, the patient. So it ends up being an additional discount for them. But yeah, I mean, the reality is having $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000 maximum, it's nothing. When my husband was in the government, we had government, dental insurance, and we used it, and we went to who our in-network provider was. And so I don't know. I think that people just kind of operate in a way that they're familiar with, and it does make sense as a consumer when it's being contributed by the employer, or they get a tax break, or different things like that.
I see. As far as for like dentists and dental practices, so when you guys go in, as far as negotiating with the insurance company, you said you do a lot of research and you do like a lot of different things to be able to show them based on facts that why you want to kind of get this increase.
Mhm.
So what are some of the facts that plays into that when you go in and do the research? Like what are some of the things that you're looking at before you go into the insurance company?
Absolutely. We are looking at top codes for that dentist. Every dentist performs differently. We are looking at the local employer choice, which those change. They can change annually for who the local employers are setting up with their employees. We look at top groups within the insurance group. So if it's Medicare, Medicare Advantage, like we need to know all the details. So we are looking at your AR, at which insurance carriers you have a lot of outstanding money owed to you from. Maybe that would be, indication that they're hard to get reimbursement from, and it may not make sense. That the benefit and the pros and the cons have to be weighed out. Does it make sense to stay contracted with them, or do we do out of network with this insurance because we're not collecting anything anyways? It's taking us 90 days to get paid on a crown. For that, maybe going out of network and let the patient pay 100%. PPO can pay to the patient directly.
Wow. Do you believe that the future of the dental insurance is going to change, or do you think it will stay about the same?
I think we're in a place where it's only going to get more confusing because we've seen that. We have seen hard to deliver this news. I think it's only going to get more complex. I think it's only going to create more conversation because each insurance company follows suit of the other. So we have a lot of payers that are having backdoor agreements and all of that. And I think that this is like the new norm. It is going to continue to do this until the unforeseen future. I think. I do hope though that insurance will get to a place where they provide a higher maximum option. There are some very rare plans that offer $20,000 maximums and such, but that's not the norm. And I think patients in America need to take their dental health into it very seriously, just as we do our medical health when it comes to the insurance relationship with patients.
Yeah. Well, also I think that is I now that I'm talking to you, I think that also makes sense on why about 50% of the patients or the population in the US is unable to see dentists, because I think the insurance is almost making it impossible for the patient to have the access. I don't think it's so much that what the dentist does. I think it's more of like what the insurance companies are doing that is
I
forcing people's hand to not be able to have access.
I agree. And to have and to not educate. I feel like they never even had access to have an education as to why regular cleanings are so important in preventative care for their entire body's health. It's just, we know it because we're in the industry. You know it because you're a doctor. But to just the average Joe who hasn't had access to dental care, it really is. It's so wild that they don't know the depths of the health with their teeth.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, it's so fascinating to me that, when we have patients that are in like tooth pain and they're going through that moment of like, man, I just want to like freaking take my leg off because of the tooth pain. It's so crazy to me that, that somebody like I had a patient, he's like, man, I broke legs, I broke hands, but this tooth pain is like on a next level, like the pain of it. So the fact of the matter that we have to wait to get to that point where you're in so much agony. That's really what bothers me the most. That is like, why wait till like there is no point of return to essentially come and see me or another doctor? And again, it goes back to that discussion of us and the accessibility of the patient to the dental care. Because I'm not gonna lie, I mean, dentistry is expensive. It's not cheap for average people. If they don't have insurance, it makes it difficult. Financing certain thing makes it difficult. So I absolutely think that, it can get better, but we'll just see how the time will tell. The other thing I want to ask you is, and that's again something that I have seen a lot with the insurance companies, they have some like wait period time. Why do you think that is? Like, I almost, yeah, I know. I almost feel like I'm like, is this like a scam? What is going on?
It's serious. The waiting period, it's a scam. It's because when people sign up for dental insurance, they're in pain. And so there's a waiting period. But what's even more heartbreaking is when I was an office manager and we would have patients come in and they were in pain, they needed an extraction or they needed implant, whatever treatment plan the doctor had for them. The patients, we would run their insurance and they had a 12-month waiting period. And it was like, oh my gosh. So then you have to tell the patient, and they never heard during the explanation of the insurance about this waiting period, but we see it all the time on the claim side. We saw it all the time in the office. And it is just another delay tactic for insurance to collect their money before they start putting anything out there on the patient.
That's crazy to me. Like the fact of
Crazy.
the matter that they're doing that on just the simple fact that if somebody's in pain and just getting a dental insurance and you have to wait 12 months to be
Yes.
able to get any major procedure done. I mean, what happens in that 12 months if you break a teeth or something? Like it makes absolutely no sense.
Yes. No, or how painful it is. Well, when I lived in Arizona, a lot of people would go to Mexico for dental care because they didn't want to pay US prices. And so it just goes to show like it can be done here in the US and it can be done by an amazing doctor. They don't need to go if there's just education and communication about it. And insurance would support people.
It's so funny you said Arizona. I was actually just thinking about moving to Arizona.
Are you? We just moved from there.
Really? Whoa, man, how did you like it over there?
We loved it. I
Yeah.
feel like it just kept getting hotter, I feel like, but it was beautiful. It was really, really
Really?
beautiful. Mhm.
Okay. Would you go back?
Yeah, well, we wouldn't move back. We came to Tennessee for exactly what we have found, but we loved it. We were there for about 10 years and it was
Oh,
wonderful.
wow. Nice. So what brought you guys to Tennessee?
When I sold my company, my husband and I looked at each other and we said, what do we want? And what do we want for our girls? And we wanted grass and trees and four seasons like we grew up with. So we looked at a couple different states. Where we grew up just wasn't an option for either of us. The winters are too harsh, and Tennessee was exactly what we wanted. I still remember getting off the airplane and it was so lush. It was in like July and it was so lush. And I'm like, oh my God, because we were just coming from the desert and it was just such a change. So it was, wow, we love it. We love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we were. I was just like before we got on the call, I was actually just looking at some places out in Tucson. I was like, man, we'll see what happens. We'll see
Yeah.
what's going. Honestly,
It
Ten-
during like June, July, so you can get a real feel for what it's like. Because right now, if you go, it's beautiful. Or like 2 months ago, if you went, it's beautiful.
I went to school in Utah. I used to go up to Phoenix a lot, the Scottsdale area. I liked it a lot over there. It's pretty like it's very bougie and all
Yes.
that. But I don't know. Some opportunity came up in Tucson, and I'm just kind of entertaining it. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Tucson's even more desert for sure than like Scottsdale.
Oh
About
God.
30 minutes from Scottsdale, and it was beautiful. But Tucson is
Yeah.
even more desert.
More.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all good though. We'll see what happens. You never know where
More
life takes me.
exuberant, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm like, man. I've been moved around so much. I don't even care.
Yeah, it's life. That's what my husband and I were like. What's the worst that happens? We don't like Tennessee, we move,
It's
you
just
know?
move.
Yeah.
Well, especially when the company says, "Hey, Doc, you want to move? We'll pay for everything." I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah.
You move me for free, no worries. You can take me.
Yeah. Good for you. Are
Yeah.
you looking to add a location to work as an associate?
Well, so there is a private practice out in Tucson, and I did not know about that in Arizona. Actually, hygienists can purchase their own practices.
Yeah.
And there is a hygienist that bought her practice and super, super nice lady. I mean, she is, I don't know, man. I feel like an angel just knocked on my door. And I had like crazy offers on the table. For some reason, I'm just keep circling back and I'm keep circling back and I'm always coming back to her for whatever the reason is. And I don't know. I am a type of person, like my personality is like, I want to have an impact. And that's really what matters to me. And if I can go somewhere and like help somebody grow their practice or like have some sort of impact on their end result of their practice or improve their quality of lifestyle, I done something, right? Because the money side of it, yeah, you'll make money, but doesn't matter where you go. You're a dentist, you'll make money. But I just really want to go and just help her out, build her practice out, and then if in 15 months, 12 months, I didn't like it, I'll be like, peace out. I'll move.
Or maybe,
Well,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I grew up in New York City. I always wanted to go back, but hella expensive. No way.
Yeah.
New York City is crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just kind of looking at the dental insurances, when the dentist kind of calls you and says, hey, like my dental insurances is kind of like just doesn't make sense and I don't know what to do. When you kind of get into that first stage with them, what are some of the first steps that you take to analyze their practice?
Yeah. So the first thing is we work with practices that are contracted with 4 or more PPOs because we have a money back guarantee. We guarantee to increase their revenue or their money back. So we need to work with 4 or more PPOs. And then we install a software into their practice management software and we extract data from there. So we extract some of those KPIs that I had mentioned previously. And then we review EOBs. So we take a look at EOBs from the last 90 days to see how this is actually networked and who they're paying under. Not to get boring, because this can get really boring really fast, but we look into things like the most favored nations clause, which means that they're paying on a lower fee schedule due to that clause than what the doctor initially thinks that they contracted at. So there's just some backdoor things that we're analyzing, and then we go from there.
Wow. That's, man, this is stuff.
I know, and it's so boring. I love to talk about it, but to everyone else, I'm like, I don't want to bore you. I know it's like a lot of information, uh, but it
No,
is.
but it's good though. It's a good educational stuff for the dentist to listen to. Like I said, the goal is, so I don't know if you, just to give you a little background, I graduated dental school. If you look on my LinkedIn, it says CEO and founder of Dentment. So I'm
Yes.
actually building a social media platform for dentists, which is exactly like LinkedIn. I'm in the process of developing it. I'm working with a team. In August, we're gonna essentially have the platform ready. It's exclusive to dentists. Nobody else can access it. It's for so it's for pre-dental student, dental student, and dentists, and it is going to have we're gonna have about 24 to 30 mentors, and those mentors are in all different aspects of dentistry. And essentially, my goal with everything that I'm doing is for us to educate the younger dentists that are coming, because in dental school they don't talk to us about the other side of it, right? When I graduated dental school, luckiness, I did my undergrad in business. I had business experience before I got into dental school. You know, I was a little bit later on in my life. I was in my 30s when I got into that. Well, I was 29 when I got into dental school. And
In your prime.
so I was in my prime, exactly. So I did a lot of things. So I had some business understanding and knowledge of what was really going on. But I think the people that are, the students that I saw in my dental school and other dental schools is that when we leave, we leave. There is no support. There is nothing. And that's really what the idea of Dentment came about. Because I was like, man, there has to be a community where you come out, you can talk to somebody, you can pick up the phone, reach out to a mentor, you can pick up the phone and have the sense of support when you leave so that you don't feel alone out in the dental world, because it can get very lonely. So
I love that.
yes, Dentment is gonna get launched. I mean, we already launched our like cloud based, but the actual server is gonna get launched in August with the mobile app and everything. So they'll be
Amazing.
able to. So they'll have all of that. You're more than welcome to be a mentor on there. Actually, I don't think I have a dental insurance expert. I don't know,
Yeah,
man,
I'd be
probably not.
happy to.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it. Well, me and you are in Tennessee. Before I leave, gotta have a dinner.
Yes, that sounds perfect. Yes.
Yeah,
One
but
little before that.
for sure. Yeah, I think the idea is really that's why like with a lot of my with the podcasts that we do, you know, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, everything else, my goal is to really educate the younger doctors, even the dentists that are out. Some of them don't know the insurance and stuff. They rely on their office managers, they rely on other people. So I think to educate and to empower, that's really what I care about, because I think that's where we're able to see the shift in the industry. And I always say this, I believe that dental support organization, the DSOs, they're amazing for the industry. But I think the dentist at the end of the day has to benefit from that. You can't have other people benefit from it, from the backbone of the dentist. The dentist has to benefit. I'm all for that. My life is evolving around that. I'm dedicating myself to that, whatever it is, with Dentment, with podcasts, whatever I can do. Because at the end of the day, when I go back and I think about the sleepless night that I spent in the library studying, I'm like, it has to pay off for everybody, because I've seen so many people do the same exact thing, that they sit day and night studying just to get to this point. I think it's not fair that they just leave dental school and then other people are taking advantage of them. I don't think it's fair for the dentists. So
No, that's where my passion lies. I get chills when I hear you talk about it. Truly, I feel like you all are set up, dentists in general are set up to fail with insurance. And like you said, they rely on their office managers, they rely on their staff. You know what? These team members may be incredible at what they do in the office, incredible with patient care. But specifically with insurance, this landscape is changing every single day. And there is no way that one person can know it all. So they're checking patients in, treatment planning. There's just no way that they can keep up with the insurance. I couldn't agree more. Being like a trusted resource and providing support so that everyone benefits, the dentist included. And then also setting them up with the right experts, because there's certain things that you can outsource with the right people, and it makes like they're winning time and time again. And that's where
Yeah,
I like to see like the ROI with us. It's 10x, 12x, 11x. I mean, we
that's
make an
awesome.
impact.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the industry needs. I always, when I speak to my co-founder like Sarah Ruberg or Craig or like the guys in Canada, the developers, I always say like the goal ultimately has to be that we got to empower the dentists so that they're able to understand where they stand in the career of dentistry. Because again, the dental support organizations understand that there's a lack of that knowledge in the industry, and they're able to kind of use that as a stepping stone for themselves. So if they're able to kind of be forefront and bring all that expert to the dental students, to the dentists, I think it's going to allow them to make much better decisions. And that's really what I want to do. And that's why I went out and just, got 30 of like top-notch people in the dental industry that exactly have expertise in everything, just like yourself. And I put them on Dentment platform because I want the dentists to have the best resources available to them. So that from the marketing, from embezzlement, from accounting, from dental insurance expert, I'm sure I'm gonna have you on Dentment platform. So, but just a lot of that. I think that's where you're gonna see the change. That's where you're gonna see the dentist saying, "Hold on, I can do this by myself." Because now you have the tools available to you to do it. So I think as long as we're able to provide that in whatever way the message is, I think that's where you're going to see the dentist being empowered and being able to make better choices for their.
I agree. I love hearing when a doctor, I love having conversations with the doctors that are like, well, how is this going to impact my practice? And they have the data on their practice. I'm so impressed every time because every dentist should have that data. That data is your life. That's your livelihood. That's your family's livelihood. So I'm always so impressed when they have that data, because you'd be surprised how many dentists rely solely on someone. And I've heard of dentists taking out home equity lines of credit to pay their staff, and it was due to embezzlement and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like they had no way of knowing. She worked for them for 15 years, and it's crazy, the story. So I love
Yeah.
teaching, like teach a dentist to fish or whatever, and he'll eat for a lifetime.
Yeah, that's amazing. We had so I had Dr. Brad Hughes on our podcast. He's a CEO and founder of Vision Dental Partners, and he said the same thing. He's like, man, I had office managers stealing from me, and then I had David Harris on my podcast. He does all the embezzlement stuff, and it was just so fascinating to just hear him talking and just really like deep dive to what they do. It was just super fascinating. I think his video got like 700 views on my YouTube channel. So I was like, hey, Miss Debbie, you're becoming famous, man.
Part two, yeah.
Yeah, because it's amazing what he does. I mean, just the fact that when you think about these are the type of thing that you don't think about, right? As a dental student, you graduate, you come out, you're like, man, I'm gonna go open my own practice. But then 2 years in, you're like, oh, somebody was stealing from me. I didn't know that somebody could actually steal from me.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's a lonely, I think that being a owner of any company is a lonely position. So the more that you can surround yourself with people who genuinely either have similar scenarios and can share from their experience and hope, or that you have people that are experts in the industry that are trusted and vetted, that's how you're going to get ahead. And that's how you're not going to feel lonely the whole time. I mean, I'm not
Man,
even a dentist, but as a serial entrepreneur, it's a journey.
yeah. Man, it's so amazing that you just talked about that. Like, you exactly spoke my vision that I had for Dentment. I'm like, now you're just like touching my little bit of my visions that I have for the
I get
company
it.
and
I
where
get
it's trying to go. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, like I said, the goal is to empower. The goal is, like you said, bring the expert in one place where you're able to go in, find the best of the best. Because essentially, we're doing the work of vetting the people out and just say, hey, these are the top-notch people in the industry. They know exactly what they want. And then having the community to go to and just click somebody, book time with them, have that conversation, man, it makes it so much easier for the dentist.
Yep.
And right out the gate, you leave dental school, you have all the experts in your hand and you can do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
But, the other thing is that, man, my eyes were hurting this whole time because your diamond ring was keep reflecting.
When I sold my company, I bought myself a nice gift. We're
You gotta throw your husband under the bus like that. I hope he doesn't. I'm gonna edit that one out.
Oh my God, no, I love the ring he gave me, and I was like, please, I love you with all my heart, and I love the ring you gave me, but I really want this.
I'm like, oh my god. Well, I'm sorry to your husband. I hope he doesn't.
No, he's so proud of me, so he's like, yes, buy it.
You're not buying it with my money. You do what you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. No, we did. He sacrificed with me a lot. Just like like the wives or the spouses of dentists, they suffer too. They sacrifice too, and so there was a couple things that we had agreed upon when I said I'm going to sell this company, and I said I need a couple.
And the ring was on top of the list. I'm gonna sell my company. Get me a ring.
Yeah.
That is funny. But no, I was like, I was just like, it's so funny that we always think about this. It's like, goes back to the same, man. Woman loves their diamond.
Yeah. Well, I've just never been a big jewelry girl. He never bought me jewelry and stuff, so I'm like, except for
Man, this is getting worse. Let's
my
stop.
beautiful engagement ring. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put it all here. This is what
I think this conversation is turning against your husband. We need to stop.
Oh yeah.
Like, he never bought me jewelry. He never bought me bags.
No. I never asked for it, so that might be part of it.
Well, you shouldn't have to ask. He should just buy you.
Yeah. I think I like to be able to choose it though, is the thing.
That's process.
Yeah.
You don't stop and give him some hints once in a while.
Yeah.
You don't walk by the window. It's like, oh, I like this one.
Yeah. Oh, I like this one. Yeah, I know we need to. I need to do that.
I'll give you some trick. Just go to the mall with it and be like, that's a nice Louis Vuitton bag.
Yeah, I want this one.
That's the That's funny. But yeah, it's all about, going back to what we were talking about is really truly, I think, and the one thing that I love about dental industry in general, I think that people in dental work, as far as like industry partners, they're super nice and super genuine as
Yep.
far as when it comes to offering themselves. Because truly, when I started the idea of Dentment about 9 months ago, and we started approaching the experts, everybody's message were the same. Hey, we want to help somebody. We want to, like, if we can help someone, we did something right. And that is so fascinating to me. And I just really want to know, do you feel that the same way about the people in the dental industry? And why do you think that is?
I feel that truly. I have built an amazing network over the last 10, 15 years. And what I can speak on for me personally is I was doing software sales when I first started in the industry for medical and dental. And I fell in love with the dental industry. I fell in love with the doctors. I fell in love with the staff. I fell in love with the office managers. I fell in love with everything about dentistry. And I think it's because it was people trying to help other people. That's what it came down to. And so when you find good quality experts in the industry, I think that they're such good quality because they care. Like, so that's what has made them the expert that they are. They care. So they put the work in, they put the effort in to make sure that they are providing an expert service to the dentist.
Yeah, that is so amazing. I think that honestly believe that the dental industry, it's going to get so much better in the
Yeah.
next 5 to 10 years.
Yep.
And I have this feeling that the dental industry in general, I think the younger doctors, when I talk with them, is they are more ambitious than ever to kind of create their own path. And I think that's what I want. That's what excites me as a younger dentist, to see the dentists want to do more for themselves and not just follow the oh man, I'm just gonna get out, go work for Heartland, work for PDS, go work for other companies. I'm a big advocate. I advocate for the dentists to create their own path, and I hope that I can be part of that and help them out with that process, because I think the dentists, they work hard, man. We need to get what we worked on.
When I started in 2013, it was I wanted to do the sales because I was going to work dentist hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It was like a dream, you know. I wouldn't have to work outside those hours. I now work with dentists that work Sunday to Sunday, 7 to 7. They're open 7 days a week, and it's because the game, in my opinion, from what I see, the insurance game is rigged against them. So if we can get them out from working under and for the PPOs, and at least in what I do, and we can get the PPOs working for them, they're working less hours, they're making more money. I mean, the work-life balance, it's important. That's how old school dentistry used to be, you know, those dental office hours, Monday through Friday, and really create a life for those
Yeah.
old practitioners. And I think that the industry will only get better with the advances in technology, expertise, and education. And then these young dentists that I feel like they're hungrier than ever to understand the industry and to be successful.
Yeah, I think that's so important to kind of being in the forefront of those changes. And I think that the industry, like I said, I think that the industry is shifting as more of these younger dentists coming out of dental school with the technology improving. Like you're right, they're just becoming, they want to learn more and do more. And I think that when I was thinking about the idea of like Dentment, I just said dentists, we go to school for 9 years, 10 years of our life. We want to learn, right? But you got to have a place where they can go and learn those things. And I think that's really where the idea of Dentment came about, because I want to be able to say, hey, like you can learn these things and essentially run a successful practice. And I think that's so important to be able to kind of have these conversations that we are having right now, because this conversation is going to empower somebody to say, hey, like I can be in control of my own destiny of how things are going to be, especially with the insurance games, because they are so complex and so confusing. And I hope it gets better. I hope it does get better for everybody, for the dentists. The final question I want to ask you is, what is when we are in dental school, they minorly talk to us about different type of insurance services like the HMOs and the PPOs and all that. Why do you think that the HMOs are not, some dentists think that HMOs are just not good for their industry, or they don't pay out good enough, or you have to kind of like do so much just to retain that patient and they just send you a little bit of a check every month?
Yeah.
What is the stigma around the HMO insurances?
So my expertise is not HMO, but
Okay.
doing the RCM side, we dealt with it and I saw it a lot. An HMO practice is a specific practice model. So if you purchase an HMO practice, you need multiple, not in 100% of the scenarios. I worked with a doctor out of Queen Creek, Arizona, who was actually a super provider, and he was an HMO doctor. But HMOs, you need it. I don't want this to sound derogatory in any way, but it's almost a Burnham and Churnham type of practice. You need to see as many patients as you can. You need to Medicaid, Medicare. You need to see as many patients as you can so that you can get the money. For HMO, the money they pay, there's no negotiation. They pay you what they pay you. And the patients that are on HMO, and this is not 100% of patients, but this is some of them, they're not usually paying a lot for this insurance. So they don't see the value of dentistry oftentimes as much as a PPO patient who is paying a premium to be able to go to whatever dentist they choose and to have those premium options that PPOs offer. It's practice demographic specific. If you're purchasing a specific practice, HMO may be your best bet, and you just kind of run with it with the patients that are there. But what you get paid on that's it.
Wow.
That's it. There's no going up unless you expand.
Wow. So the HMOs it restricts you to what you can do as far as the dentistry side of it goes.
Exactly. At the end of the day, when someone is paying for a PPO, that is someone, again, who sees the investment as a premium. And so when you present treatment to them, the treatment planner is on point and she has her conversation dialed in, her education with a patient dialed in on the treatment necessary, those patients see the value of the dentistry being done. And from a finance standpoint, they'll make it happen because the value's there. They know the importance of the dentistry.
That's amazing. Well, Miss Angela, I always say this to anyone that come on my podcast, and it comes, we like I said, typically we have 2 or 3 other people that hop on here, but tonight I'm a solo, and I worked out really well. Our personality matched, and once again, your husband, don't listen to this.
Don't listen. Don't.
From minute 35 to 42, don't listen. But yeah, either way, I truly want to say thank you so much for giving me your time. The time is one of the most valuable thing that we have, and something that when somebody gives me their time, I'm super grateful for it. Every time that someone get on here and give me a chance to have the conversation with them, network with them. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
I'm super excited for your journey with Dentment. I think it's going to be such a value add to the industry,
thank
truly.
you. I hope so too. I hope that, I always tell myself, not to get, super like personal, but, I wasn't born in this country. I'm originally from Iran. I grew up in Turkey. When I came to US 2003, I came here with nothing, and my parents had nothing. I didn't have anything. So I had to work really hard to get where I'm at. But my goal is that to give as much as back as possible to a country that has given me so much. And whatever that is, if it's Dentment, if it's providing dental service to patients, whatever the case may be, I think that that's what matters at the end of the day. I don't think that I'm not going to take any money with me. I'm not going to do anything. I think our legacy is what matters. The name is what matters. So
Success is. Yep.
that's what success to me is. And I hope that with the Dentment platform, with the connections that I make with people like yourself, we can put a small dent into the industry, and make the dentists at the end of the day benefit from it, because the conversations that I have with dentists, it kind of makes me sad sometimes, because I get on this podcast. I've had many dentists that comes on, and you can feel the stress in their eyes, and it really makes me sad to see. So I think the industry needs to do better for the dentists, and I hope you can do something. So
Yes, I get it. The first doctor that I worked for as an office manager, he changed my life. He changed the trajectory of my life. He taught me so much. He was an incredible businessman and an incredible dentist. And the stress that he had, the conversations that we had, and the ability to support him in a way, his business in a way that he taught me how to do, it's invaluable. And to find those people in the industry to support each other,
yeah,
I'm all about work-life balance and I think that, that's the secret to life, just giving back, helping.
absolutely. Well, me and you will connect. I'm sure we'll go have a dinner sometimes.
Yeah, I'll see you on 96, right?
You never know, but I'll definitely reach out. We'll go and grab a dinner or something. Miss Angela, thank you so much. For any dentist that is interested in Miss Angela's services, you can find her right on LinkedIn. I'll put all her information on my YouTube. Check her out. Any insurance questions, she's the expert. I don't know nothing about it, but she knows.
If you have a question, if you just want to have a free consultation, schedule it on my website. I would love to connect and see if I can help you.
Absolutely. I'll put all that information. Miss Angela, thank you so much. I'll let you go hang out with your family.
Thank you.
And to your husband, don't listen to this.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sure.